conversation about overpowered. This system feels bad. I think it's been very disruptive, and I think a lot of the community does not like it at all. Join with me is Duelim. How are you doing, my guy?
I'm lovely. How are you?
Yeah. And before we get into this, I just want to say that from my perspective, this overpowered system is going to hit someone like you the hardest. Explain specifically what your situation is in Crucible.
Yeah, so Crucible, obviously that's my favorite game mode. That's what I play the most. People that watch me know that's pretty much 80% of my content. So Crucible, I mean, I'm at rank 48 right now. I just hit Grandmasters for the first time, which I'm super stoked about. And overpowered is going to hit me like a freight train. Like I am very scared to just eat a Thanos passive and just get deleted. Or going into Odin Illuminati's with Null, where Null and Odin are gear tier 20. Like it's going to be really rough.
Yep.
And it's going to be something that we're going to have to just change around. Like my Echo is not going to be gear tier 20, right? My Echo is going to die and is not going to be able to stop the counters or anything. So it's going to be interesting to see how we can play around it.
Yep. So this is going to be a problem for players in PvP content that are newer and or light spenders or free spenders that are going up against heavy spenders. This is going to negatively impact smart players that, you know, like if you're the smallest guy in your Cosmic Crucible bracket, every single time, this is going to affect you the most, right? And I think the fallout of overpowered has not even been realized yet until we go through a round of Crucible. You know what I'm talking about? Like that is where we're going to see all of this. Now, I just want to talk real quick about why this feels bad, because I had to think about this morning because we both play Raid Shadow Legends. I have a Raid Shadow Legends channel. I'm sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. They came out with a new upgrade system that the community loved. And I really thought about that. This overpowered system is not well received. And why is it that Raid came out with a new system that everybody loved? And the first thing is that game is not PvP based. Like, so it just doesn't like the new system came out in Raid called Relics and everybody's like, cool. I can destroy Null better. I could go through the raids fast. And that's not what happened with Overpowered. This is like, you didn't spend a lot of money and you're going to lose. And they're punishing smart players. They're punishing efficient players, where none of that happened with the new upgrade system in Raid Shadow Legends. Does that make sense? It's just because this game has...
Absolutely.
Like, they even excluded Overpowered. They excluded Overpowered from affecting PvE content. That just seems like there's no upside to this unless you're a heavy spender and you are playing against a smaller player, right? That's why it feels bad. It's just straightforward. It feels
absolutely.
bad, right?
And the problem is with Marvel Strike Force is the problem is exacerbated because the only real fun, the only real content in Marvel Strike Force is PvP. Like PvE has always been a place where the game has not succeeded well, other than when they do Scourges once every 3 or 4 months, or they just updated Tower or Sword Satellite, but Sword Satellite's only the newer floor, stuff like that. And it's like that's the issue. Is this problem is exacerbated so much because it's not like, hey, you know what? I won't be able to compete in my favorite PvP game modes for a few months before I catch up. But at least I have X to fall on. At least I have Y to fall on. You don't have shit to fall on. You have raids to sim on, and that's not fun. And then you have other game modes that sometimes come and are sometimes fun, Kiln, Satellite, stuff like that. But that's few and far between. So there's nothing to be like, hey, at least I get to play this until I catch up. There's nothing to play until you catch up. There's just getting destroyed in your only good game mode. Right.
And so it definitely feels bad. And I've seen lots of different types of comments, and we're not going to dwell on this too much, but I'm getting wiped in Arena because of Odin's, Crucible is going to be a whole host of problems next week. I promise you. Right. But even someone like myself, I'm going into war, and it didn't make sense for me to upgrade Pandapool on my Merc team because he's just going to revive. I don't really care. You know what I mean? And I went into a battle, and because Pandapool was weak, it didn't work. The counter didn't work, right? And then I upgraded Panda Pool, took him to 105, which I did not want to do. Did not want to purple 3 him, and the counter worked. It's forcing, at a minimum, like, of course, the Arena Fallout, the Crucible Fallout, but at a minimum, it's like forcing myself to upgrade characters I didn't want to upgrade. And it's like, do I really want to upgrade these B tier teams that I was depending on as counters where Gamma's dead unless you upgrade them? I don't want to upgrade them. Nowhere is dead.
New Avengers.
Nowhere is dead unless you upgrade them. I don't want to upgrade them. Like, if I feel like if I want to use these older teams, like let's talk about Crucible in general, right? Like, are you going to have to take Echo all the way up? Are you going to have to
Probably.
20 Echo? Are you going to have to upgrade new warriors more than they are now? So that's at a minimum. These B tier teams are just going to evaporate because they're going to be useless, or upgrade them, and that doesn't feel good, right? I don't want to upgrade bad teams.
Yeah, they're turning from like B tier to like D tier, or they're just not even a tier anymore. Like it's A tier, or it's not even bother anymore, and that's going to make it be a big problem because it's going to make everybody build their roster super wide to be able to use these teams everywhere. Yeah,
so it's pushing old teams out now. Let's just talk about some of the misconceptions that I've seen, and the misconceptions that I have is, first things first, it's not additive. Yes. So it gives the attacker onto a lower overpowered character a 50% damage boost, which is significant, but it's not 50 plus 20, which is the second thing that we'll talk about that also. Correct. That's a misconception, I think, also. So this does not affect at all very fast teams. Give me an example of a situation that this doesn't affect a team at all, because it's an offensive tool, and then when they hit you back, it's going to hurt, right?
Yeah. I mean, like Starjammers, because Starjammers go really fast. When they're going against vanilla Illuminati, they're deleting them before they take a turn. So even if that's an all gear tier 20 Illuminati, it don't matter. You're going to delete them before you move. Right. There's the combo with like Void Knight, Red Hulk, Ares, Lady Deathstrike, where you gather them all together and then you rewind them all a bunch and you're just doing a bunch of damage. Right. You're not getting affected by overpowered in that sense at all, because it's not. Because they're not taking a turn. Ideally, that's how the counter works. They don't move and you win, right? So that's not affecting it at all. So that is a good side where counters can still work, which I think is a little bit of a credit to Scopely, is at least some counters can still work. I mean, you're zooming in on a gear 20 Echo here. Like if I see a gear 20 Hank Pym in Cosmic Crucible, I know my Echo will not survive his ult. Right. Period. That's it. Because it's 50% extra damage. She will die. Or he will die. And then guess what? Odin's going to assist. And then guess what? I've lost. So that's it.
So this is not boosting the defensive stats on the other team. So if your team is faster and kills them before they take a turn, this overpowered system basically is a non-event. Where it does matter, like specifically like with Echo, if I have a 19 Echo and like you said, they have a 20 Hank, well, when Hank does that AoE damage, she's going to die. And then the counter is wiped, right? It's just the counter won't work. And then it's like, okay, Echo, unless I take Echo, again, back to what I was saying, unless I'm willing to take Echo to 20, this is not my Echo. This is not my, this seems so
I'm not a madman, I swear.
Oh my God. But anyways, that's the point. And okay, let's talk about this 19 and a half situation, which is also really wild because a lot of people are saying it's 50% plus 20, and shouldn't the stat increase from 19 to 20 be enough? Which I think is factually true. It should be enough, right?
Absolutely.
If going from 19 to 20 should be enough stats, should be good enough. But they did something weird with this 19.5. Explain what that means.
Yeah, so specifically for new stat characters, and some of the reworks, but not all the reworks, the middle left piece gives a significant amount of stats. So you see on the right hand side it says 500,000 health. That's not 500,000 health. That's the base amount, but then that's affected by your star level, your diamonds and stuff like that. So that's actually like 2 million health. Yeah. So putting that one piece on there, and if you go back to the Thanos Endgame picture, This is a 19.5 Thanos Endgame with just that middle left piece that does not take any gear tier 20 pieces to put on, going from 19.5 to 20. And you see it's like 54,000 damage, like 500,000 health. That's nothing. That is nothing at all. And that is a problem that Scopely has created. Now, I don't know if that was on purpose or inadvertent, but if this was not an issue, I don't think overpowered would need to be a thing. But the fact that you're getting 50,000 damage just because you're going from gear 19 to gear 20 is not enough, and which is why it kind of was needed, as bad as it is to say. Like, I mean, you see Kahori with the middle left piece. I think she got like, what was it, 700,000 health? It was 43,000 damage, but I think that was actually like 180,000 damage.
So let's just spell this out. This one little piece is like a very large percentage of the stat increase from going to 19 to 20. And actually doing the other pieces, the other 5 pieces is not going to give that much stats, is what we're saying. All the stats are in this one little piece on some characters. There's older characters, not so much. Like there's these weird anomalies, like none of the stats come in on Invisible Woman for some reason. But
Phoenix is the same way too.
So it's like a lot of the older reworked characters don't get the stats in the 9 o'clock position, which is called that, or the unique 19 piece. So it's kind of wild that you can get like a good percentage, like a large chunk of the stat increases on going to 20 without using any gear tier 20 pieces at all, just using the unique. So
I'd easily say it's 75 to 80% worth of the stats to gear tier 20 is just in that one piece. And pretty much everybody has those except for you, who can't take your Electra past gear tier 18 because you don't have them. But like,
I don't know why they did it that way. Like,
no, I don't
because
either.
Like, I kind of personally feel like, well, shouldn't gear tier 20 be enough? Well, there's just not a lot of difference between 19.5 and 20 for whatever reason. So, something I did not account for is that this kind of added value to some teams in, let's say specifically Alliance War, that I didn't think about. For example, like a Spider Society, a lot of people took Spider Society to 105 because they were dual stats. And like normally that would be a pretty mild counter, but I'm looking at everybody's got like 10, and my counters that were based off of 9s or 8s get wrecked, and I don't want to upgrade my She-Hulk. So again, it's this like, okay. And then the people that took their Hive Mind all the way to 105 purple 3 have them at 10. And I think Hive Mind temporarily is stronger than it should be. Like Hive Mind's been on its way out, right? If Hive Mind can do damage, 50% damage is a lot of damage. They drop, like if you're playing up against an overpowered 10 team and you've got overpowered 9, they're going to be doing 50% more damage. They're going to be dropping you into red, and the match is over. So like Hive Mind Null somehow got a lot stronger, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like characters like that are going to benefit from doing a lot of damage, like just the one shot potential, like the nukers, just absolutely deleting teams, like we talked about, are going to benefit from this as well. And it's just going to be, it's going to be interesting to see how, because I think this is going to be a full meta shift. Like this isn't just going to be a small thing. Like I really feel like this is bringing speed meta back. Because going fast is going to counter overpowered. Right. And this is going to bring speed meta back, which they have told us on multiple accounts that they are trying to get rid of. Right. And that's why Black Knight was brought into the game to stop speed meta. Right. And this is going to exacerbate the speed meta problem by so much.
Not only that, they basically, with this single overpowered thing, they unwound 2 things that they were working on. 1, they were trying to move against the speed meta. This totally incentivizes speed meta. 2, they were trying to catch new players up to old players. This wipes that out, because this
absolutely
greatly benefits veteran accounts, whale accounts, Kraken accounts, people that have been playing the game for a long time. This incentivizes wide accounts rather than tall accounts, because the people that are coming into the game that are having success are laser focused, narrow. They don't waste any time on bad teams. And Oops. Now you have to upgrade a lot of stuff that there's no reason to upgrade if you want to be competitive in. Well, let's talk about that. Like Arena really is about 7-ish characters, right?
Yeah.
Crucible's about 70-ish characters. Alliance War is 120-ish characters. So like if I'm struggling in Arena right now because of Overpowered, in some way that problem is solved if I upgrade those characters up. But until Professor X comes out, then it's a different problem, right? You know, that's the, and then, but it just keeps getting worse. And I didn't think about this too much. Like this could be an ongoing problem when the next system comes out. Like Purple 5 is going to be the next overpowered level. And are they going to accelerate that? Like what if they do Purple 5 and then they do 110, then they do Gear 21, and it's just like they're only like a couple months behind, then everybody's behind indefinitely. It just seems really weird.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be the biggest tell is how quickly are they going to move the goalposts? Because as of recently with Purple ISO for the Odin Chase and then level 105, we like people that did not spend like myself got there a lot faster than normal. Like I got Odin within the 7 red milestone window, and I did not think I was going to do that. I did not push for it. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary to get there other than just being focused, right? And then the same thing for 105. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 weeks of Crucible where I wasn't 105 and I was going against people that were 104, 105. So it feels like Scopely is shoving the high-end players into the next progression, but they're which is a feel good for us, right? But that's a feels bad for the people who are spending to get there faster because their bonus is less and it's less time, which I think this is trying to re-engage that bonus and trying to make it feel better for them so they get their quote unquote value, right?
Right. Well, okay. And then lastly, I want to talk about why this was necessary. This is something that nobody wants to talk about. And I hear a lot of people's like, Kraken's asked for this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if they did or didn't, but I do know this. There was nothing for them to buy or spend money on. I mean, something that I would hear from, you know, heavy spenders that were not talking to developers, just like people in my alliance or whatever is like, yeah, why? There was no reason to spend. There was nothing to buy. When they did, it didn't matter. It didn't really change anything. Like, I can't stop, you know, whatever. And so there was nothing. It's kind of like the analogy I would use. Like, I don't know how Marvel Strike Force allowed this to happen. But it's like, you know, it's your birthday and you want to go to a steakhouse and the best steakhouse in town, you go there and they're like, yeah, we don't have any steaks. It's like, no, I want to spend money, but there's nothing to, you know, you're going to go elsewhere. And I think that's what was happening is there was no incentive. And that's the sad truth about some of these free to play games is that a very small percentage of the player base is funding a good percentage of their revenue. It's not really about the battle pass spenders or someone like myself that buys half the battle passes, let's say, and one pack to get a character unlocked. I mean, this is for, it feels like the game has always been slanted. What are your thoughts about why they had to do this or why they do this? I also think that there was some chaos over there. Like, look at the chaos of Battle World. This feels like very lack of imagination, just like they had to do something. You know what I mean? It just feels that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, this feels like a Band-Aid almost on a problem that needs stitches to be as easily as I could say it. Like, it feels like it's trying to just like put a Band-Aid on the hemorrhaging player base of endgame, alliances that we've seen disbanding. Like Legion, we saw disband. We saw some high-end war players disband for other reasons, not just reasons of not having a system like this, but I mean, I'm at a point, and I'm sure you feel this way too. Like, I don't sit there and like, I don't spend on the game, right? I don't look at offers and go, man, I wish I had some disposable income to buy something. I don't. I'm sitting there, I'm going, wow, I don't even need these diamond credits because my entire usable roster is done. My red stars are non-existent anymore. The second I unlock a character, I take them to 105, take them to the max gear tier, not gear tier 20 right now, right? But I take them to the max gear tier, I take them to purple ISO. There's nothing for even me to do, let alone somebody who wants to spend on this game.
Right.
And I had somebody in my chat one day who was like, hey, been playing the game for 7 months. I spent X amount of dollars. It was $2,000. I unlocked Odin. I feel like I beat the game. I don't want to spend anymore. And I took my money elsewhere because he ran out of steak. The restaurant ran out of steak to give him, so he went to a different restaurant.
Right.
That's the problem.
And this is where I was heading with this. Is like, not that I am overly concerned about this problem. It's just like, but they created it themselves.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a knee-jerk reaction is where I'm going with this. And there's one other thing we didn't talk about, but we're going to wrap up the video is like, you know, the difference between 10, 11 is 1 overpowered, and there's no accounting for if it goes to 2 and 3 and they add the additional tiers. I'm not sure that is not just a win more button, though. Like, I feel like it's already like you win, right? In some ways.
Yeah.
And
is it going to be like 100% extra damage, 200% extra damage? Is it going to be like, oh, cool, you now have 10,000% extra resistance? Like whatever it's going to be is going to be worse and worse.
Or if the point of this is so that they don't, like, gear tier 21 has little to no stats and they're just depending on the overpowered to be the win condition. I think that's why they're doing it this way. So like gear tier 21 comes out and there's like 3% stat increases, but if you want the overpowered, you got to do it, right? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if that's, I don't know. I feel like all of this feels bad. Anyways, head over to Duelim's channel where you can watch all of his amazing Crucible videos. One of Duelim's claim to fame is his efficiency in Crucible against punching up against monstrous accounts. And I'm afraid that your time is over with that.
Oh, dude, I'm near like the Cessies of the world right now in Crucible. I'm looking around me and I'm just sitting there like the cartoon, like the kid from The Simpsons. I'm in danger. Like I'm going to be in pain, but I'm going to have fun with it. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to see what I can pull off, and I'm going to enjoy trying to figure out this new meta. Honestly, I'm going to try to make the best of it.
Okay, and just to clarify, Overpowered does not give additive buffs at the start, but it might in the future when they introduce tier 2, tier 3. Okay, that's it for today. Bye for now.